Canada's World Cup training camp opened in Whistler, BC 1 month ago, and the players were supposed to be in top shape when they reported. So much for a long, hot summer. But for hockey players everywhere, the off-season is often spent getting ready for the next season. Pros with big money contracts and teenagers who aspire to join them in the NHL are no exception, as we found out in midsummer.
Outside Shadok Twin Pad Arena in Hamilton, it's a beautiful summer day. But inside, the sounds of winter fill the air. Summer hockey is not that unusual here in the Great White North. Still, you don't expect to see NHLers such as Owen Nolan, Dmitry Yushkevich, and Darius Kasparaitis working up a sweat on the ice in the middle of July. Yet that's exactly where they were on this particular day, along with about 40 other pros and top-notch juniors at the first annual Elite Hockey Institute. The 6-week pro development camp is not the only one of its kind, but according to Institute founder Garnet Ace, the camp is both unique and long overdue.
I was an agent for almost 5 years. I worked with a fellow by the name of Eugene McBurney in downtown Toronto, and we had some top prospects that we represented at the time. And from dealing with general managers, there seemed to be an area of lack of development. And so what I thought we'd do is, through the research that I've gone through, is to come up with a camp that provided everything, such as on ice, off ice, sports psychology, nutritionists, strength and conditioning.
And part of the daily on-ice regimen? About 90 minutes with power skating guru Cindy Bauer-Sudikow, who has been working with NHL teams and individual players for 14 years.
The term power skating, I don't even like to use that. It's actually efficiency skating, trying to learn to be the most efficient you can. A lot of the guys have never been taught edge work or really understand where their body weight should be at any time. Just because back in the younger days when they were learning, a lot of coaches don't have the skating ability that figure skaters have in the sense of skill, understanding where your edges are, your body weight for quick turns, for takeoffs, this type of thing. So their figure skating background helps us to introduce the guys' figure skating skills, but in a hockey way.
How about working with Cindy?
Oh, don't ask me. Tomorrow last day, and I'm really excited it's over. No, it's really good job. I think for me, 6 days ago I started and I wasn't ready to skate, but now I feel very good.
She helps you with your stride. You know, when you take 2 or 3 months off in the summer, little things slip in your style of skating and your technique that she gets back in place.
On-ice training also includes something called Fundamentals in Action, a skills program developed by former NHL star Whitey Pat Stapleton.
Fundamentals in Action is a series of game-like situations that help the athletes with their judgment or their choices, because their choices create their habits make or break their dreams. There's 5 series, and they are all in game situations. As simple as one drill may seem, where they start in the corner and go down and pass the puck back and forth. There's actually 29 things that happen every game, game in, game out, over and over and over. You know, and in games where you get 600 passes in a game, you've never heard anybody say this boy or this man can't play on this team because he handles the puck too well and he passes too well.
Goaltenders, though, are often the forgotten ones at hockey camps, but not at the Elite Hockey Institute. Hall of Famer Johnny Bauer, Cindy's father, is a regular contributor. And the program for puck stoppers, it's very focused.
It's top quality, you know. There's Greg Scott who's working with the goalies. He's looking for what I want to make myself better at. He's looking at the things that I told him to look out for. But so basically, he's helping everybody. You know, we do special drills after. We got an hour extra ice where some of the shooters come out and we work on special stuff that each goalie wants to work on.
Now, in between power skating and work on the fundamentals, the players hit the weights, working on improving their overall conditioning. And while physical conditioning is a big part of the Elite Hockey program, it is the mental part of the game and the training of the mind which has become more important for today's athletes.
Basically, my area is performance enhancement, and so we're doing things like goal setting, how we work on individual goal setting with the individual, how to set specific challenging goals, concentration exercises, building their confidence, which seems to be an area that fluctuates a great deal. Sometimes, surprisingly enough to the coaches, we need to work on relaxation. They're usually pumped up enough, but often dealing with stresses of important contests and things like that, they don't have any coping techniques. So we work on those.
Probably what's opened my eyes most, for the most part, just talking about, it can be a pretty intimidating experience for, an 18-year-old like myself going into, pro camps. So, because no one's there to help you, you're basically on your own. So they're trying to teach some psychological skills to, get us ready for that, because, it'll be a pretty big jump.
So for elite-level hockey players, both pro and junior, there really isn't an off-season anymore. Players are expected to arrive at training camp in shape, both physically and mentally. However, with competition for NHL jobs so much tougher than ever, we're bound to see more hockey camps such as the Elite Hockey Institute. I'm Vic Roder. That's hockey.
Thanks, Vic. As for actual training camps, players on 26 NHL teams are at them now, and World Cup performers will be there soon, and they will have one thing in common. They'll be complaining about one thing or another because nobody likes everything about training camp, and that brings us to our question of the week.
Probably the